All right, so for this presentation, we're going to be talking about online education, whether it's worth it, what are the benefits, what are the risks of it, um, and obviously overview the online university courses. They've been around since the 90s, but recently they've become much more important, obviously.
So here, in these next few slides are some of the examples of online universities. The first one we're going to talk about is the University of Phoenix. So the University of Phoenix is a for-profit university. It was founded in 1976. It's obviously located in Phoenix, Arizona, but you can get a degree from pretty much wherever you want. Obviously, since it's online. It has an extremely large selection of majors, as you can see below. It's got bachelor's, master's, and also you can get your doctorate in a number of options. It's very flexible. Each course is 5 to 6 weeks long, so you can pretty much take a course whenever you need to, and you can fit it with your schedule if you have a job or whatever. It has no scheduled meeting times. It's good for working adults, like I said. You can fit it into your daily schedule. You can do it on your own time, which is very nice. Most of the credits transfer. A lot of available scholarships, which is also nice. It's very affordable, and then there are extra benefits for military students, which leads me on to the next university, which is Full Sail University. It's based in Florida. It's a for-profit university, and you'll see most of these, if not all of them, are for-profit online universities. So some of the benefits of Full Sail include the fact that it offers majors that are very high in demand. It's a great school to learn a specific skill. Students gain lots of experience in their desired field. So they'll be mostly focusing on what they are majoring, and you don't have to go through some of the gen eds like you would in a normal 4-year education. Schoolwork leads to connections, so you will be able to be set up with a great job post grad, and also some internships. The degree program is fast tracked. That only takes 2.5 years, which is great. If you don't want to spend 4 years getting an education at a 4-year, you can have your degree in 2.5 years. And like I said, you don't have to go through the gen eds that can also plug up some time and take off a couple years. And then the programs start monthly, which, like Phoenix, you can pretty much fit into your schedule whenever you need to. And below, some of the majors are down. Bachelor's and masters are also included. Walden University, which is on the next slide here. It's also a for-profit university based in Minnesota. And also, like I said, you can attend these schools from wherever you want in the country or in the world. So some of the benefits of Walden: it offers tempo-based courses that allow for more flexibility. It has a diverse student body. The long-time experience with online learning. It has military benefits, and it has over 60 degrees offered, which is very nice for an online school. My next online university is Ashford University. Ashford is a for-profit university based in San Diego. Some of the benefits are many credits to transfer in. Courses only take 5 to 6 weeks. Offers 50+ degree programs. It's very flexible. Offers support systems to students. And then you can see below the bachelor's and master's and doctorates. And then my next slide here is Grantham University. It's a for-profit university based in Kansas. Economical tuition rates, over 60 degrees offered. It has military benefits, 8-week classes, transfer credits, and no set meeting time. So like I said, it's very beneficial and flexible with your jobs. Leading on to Southern New Hampshire University. It's a private, nonprofit school based in New Hampshire, which this is one of the only nonprofit ones we have listed here. It has over 200 degrees offered, which is awesome. Tuition costs have been frozen since 2012, unlike a lot of other four-year schools. They continue to rise. Dedicated student services, has military benefits and flexible schedules. Again, very common theme um, with the online schools. It's very flexible with your jobs. The last one we have here is Western Governors University. It's a private, nonprofit university. Some of the benefits: it offers back-to-school scholarship, monthly program starting, and allows flexible pacing. It also has low tuition costs. It's very affordable, and the faster a student finishes the program, the less money they spend. So it's very beneficial for the student. And like I said, it's very flexible with your job and whatever else you have going on.
Well, sweet. So those are some of the examples of universities we've got. And now we get to talk about some of the pros and cons of online learning. So when it comes to the quality of teaching, when it comes to online universities, it's pretty comparable generally. You get about the same amount of content, you get about the same content overall at the same quality. For mostly like science students or like art students who are like English majors and stuff. But the only real outliers is when it comes to art students who are doing like music students and art students who are doing like ceramics or other art like that. They're not going to get the same experience online pretty much no matter what you do. There's just no way to compare that in-person experience for them. So when you're talking about online learning for them, you really need to consider that fact. The quality of learning, or the amount that students retain, is actually pretty good. So studies have shown that students retain the same amount or even more information in online classes than they do in in-person classes, which was really surprising to me. I thought that was really interesting, and it wasn't a statistic I've heard before. But it's because when students have the opportunity to learn at their own pace and revisit lectures online, they retain the information and retain the material much better than they could otherwise. The quality of supporting technologies is another issue with online learning. It really depends on what school a student attends, and that's something they really need to research. So some students, like a technical school like Full Sail University, they're going to be required to have a certain computer, to have certain programs to get their coursework done. And that's going to be another expense for them. Oftentimes it'll be put into the tuition, which will raise the tuition costs. Other schools will expect you to already have your own laptop or something like that to take the online classes, which isn't a problem for most people. A lot of people already have laptops, they already have computers. But for the small population that isn't computer literate or doesn't have any form of computer other than their mobile phone, that makes online classes still not really a good option. And the software that we use as students has, even though it's come a long way from what it used to be, obviously Zoom today is better than Skype used to be, but it still has a long way to go, and there's still some barriers when it comes to the software and online learning. The quality of the hands-on experience is another big part. You don't get the same hands-on experience. There's just no option to do that in online learning. So that's another big aspect that people need to consider. Research-based projects are about the same. You just research on the internet as you would anywhere else. The only change is that some online students wouldn't have access to a school library, but they would have access to a public library, which should be fairly comparable. Next, Josh is going to talk about some of the advantages to online school.
Yeah, so there are several advantages to attending one of these schools. For example, the first reason is that it has cheaper overall costs. Online students have much less expenses than in-person students because they do not have to pay for housing, food at a school, or travel expenses. Tuition itself also tends to be cheaper. So oftentimes housing will be like $10,000. So students will save that much money in the long run by attending an online school. The second reason is that students can learn at their own pace. Online schools allow their students to learn as fast or as slow as they need to. which benefits people who want to complete their degree fast and students who need a little more time. So if you're working, as mentioned before, then you're allowed to still work and still get your degree at the pace you would like. The third reason is that it has flexible scheduling. Online schools tend not to require in-person meetings, which allows students to still get a degree. This is extremely beneficial to any working adult or parents. Oftentimes, adults want to go back to college to get a certain degree to further their education, and oftentimes work gets in the way, so having a flexible schedule is definitely important. You're allowed to start school at any time. Many schools give their students the option to start courses on a monthly basis rather than by semester, which allows students to finish their program faster. The fifth reason is that almost any degree is offered. Online school has gotten to the point where you can earn almost any degree online. Students have more options now than ever before. The sixth reason is that students learn to be good communicators. Online school requires that students learn how to communicate effectively in any situation and teaches them important skills. So because you don't have the person-to-person interactions, you're forced essentially to be good at emailing or communicating with your instructor in a efficient way. 7, geographic flexibility. Students can take online classes wherever they want, which lets them learn in whatever environment suits them the best. So if a student needs to learn at home, or let's say in a living room versus a library, then the student can choose to either learn in a library or in their living room. It's up to their discretion. 8, remote working skills. Students develop the skills of working remotely, which is an increasingly important skill. Students will be expected to know this in the workforce, and online students will already have experience with it. For example, in the pandemic today, a lot of work has been shifted to remote working. So as people graduate, they will already have the experience of working from home. 9, course offering flexibility. With online school being cheaper and faster than in-person school, students can take classes they enjoy and are interested in instead of just taking what is required of their program. 10, wider networking. Online school gives the unique opportunity to network with peers around the country or even the globe. Disadvantages. 1, there's less support staff. Online students will not have the same experience as in-person students. They will not get career advisors or library staff, which is an important benefit of in-person learning. 2, no social engagement. Students will not get traditional social aspect of college, which is an important factor for many people. Learning remotely can be very isolating instead. 3, required technology. Students are expected to use their own computers and Wi-Fi to complete their coursework, which is big extra cost if the student does not have a compatible device. 4, respectability of degree. Although it is becoming less of an issue, there is still a slight stigma to getting a degree online. Some employers may not respect an online degree and would prefer a degree from a traditional school. Scam schools. While becoming less frequent, there's still a possibility for students to lose their money on a scam school. They will need to research carefully to learn if the school is legit before they attend. 6, less feedback. In online schools, because courses move so fast, there's risk that students will not get as much feedback as they would in a traditional class. Students may have to be more proactive to get feedback. 7, self-discipline. In order to keep up with the classwork and submit everything on time, students will need to have a very good self-discipline and time management skills. 8, computer literacy. Any online student must be confident with using computers, which makes online school not an option for some of the population.
All right. So after going through all of those, we can talk about the employment opportunities. Pretty much the employment opportunities are the same across the board. An online school degree will mean the same thing as an in-person school degree. The issue is when it comes to finding jobs or getting their foot in the door, online students may struggle with that because they don't have the networking events or job fairs that in-person schools have. So lastly, we should talk about the quality of online education versus traditional education. And really it comes down to what the student is wanting out of school or what they need at a school. If it's a high school student just graduating who just wants the college experience, it's still probably a good idea for them to go to traditional school. But if you're a working adult with not a lot of time, online college is the perfect way to continue your education. As we keep going, online education is only going to get better, and there's only going to be more and more classes offered online. I think eventually it'll be very good and it'll be very comparable. But I do hope that online schools won't completely replace in-person learning. Okay, that is it.